Cambridge-based charity the Karim Foundation has just relaunched its Cambridge Ramadan Appeal for 2022. With household bills rising, struggling families and individuals in Cambridge will feel the impact of the cost of living crisis. The most vulnerable in our communities will be forced to cut back on buying food, heating their homes and paying their bills. This appeal is raising urgent funds for locals who require emergency food and fuel support. Kal Karim is one of the trustees of the charity and joins me now. Good morning and assalamu alaikum, Kal.
Good morning. Wa alaikum salam. Ramadan Kareem to you.
Ramadan Kareem to you as well, my friend. I hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining us. Kal, let me ask you, why did you decide to launch this appeal?
Well, we launched the appeal last year as well. And last year was more to do with emergency support. And we tried to move more to being sort of resilient in the community. But one of the things we realise is that we're almost going back to emergency provisions even now, with the increase in food prices, as you mentioned, and also household energy bills that families are particularly concerned about. So I think we're beginning to realise that the food support that we provided, which we would continue to do, I think we're now in a situation where I think the fuel support, which would be the household energy bills, electricity or gas, are becoming an increasing concern because food and fuel are both increasing at the same time, which is really unprecedented.
Indeed. Now, who do you hope to help through this appeal? Is it just anyone who needs the help, or is there a target kind of demographic that you're expecting to get in touch for help through this appeal?
Well, we're the Karim Foundation, where we actually based in Cambridge, but we're actually the only charity that actually provides any form of cultural diverse food in the city. But we're actually here to help everybody. I think many people sort of misunderstand that Cambridge is an exceptionally diverse city with people from a variety of different backgrounds. But they don't always have access to the type of food that they would like to have or access via food hubs or food banks. So we're just another provision, another provider that's actually creating more diversity within the city in terms of the food that people would like to have.
Yeah, that's quite refreshing, actually, because obviously there's a certain, not necessarily dietary requirements. I mean, obviously that's important, but just a favourite food that is required for certain ethnicities, people requiring different types of food stuff which would not normally be available in your standard supermarket, I guess. So there are ethnic food shops that I guess you go to purchase these things.
That's right. We use local stores, which is also good for their businesses as well, to support them. So Asian stores, East Asian, South Asian, North African and also other African food stores, as well as Eastern European food. So we try to source all types of food to meet the diverse needs of our communities.
Okay. And what sort of response, Kal, are you expecting for this appeal this year?
Well, we're hoping that, especially during the month of Ramadan, people give to charity significantly more than what they would do in other months. So we've always been overwhelmed by the generosity of our donors and the public. We raised nearly £3,200 last year. So we're hoping to do something similar, and we plan to really focus on sort of fuel and food collectively. So we have high hopes for raising funds and also providing the kind of food that people need, and we've done that last year, and we just hope that this year we're just as successful.
Okay, and do you hope that the work you do, not just this year but previous years as well, goes some way to foster understanding of the Islamic faith as well, as a byproduct of what you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. I think our ethos and our mission is also to make people aware that sort of giving to charity, being humble, being respectful, helping your neighbours is really a very important, significant part of our religion. And I think the people around the city, the partners that we've been working with are aware of that. And I think that's also an important part, to sort of work with other groups and individuals, and also maybe provide a little bit of education about sort of who we are, what we are, and why we're providing what we do to those most vulnerable in the city or in Cambridgeshire as a whole.
And how can these vulnerable people get help then? What's the process of them benefiting, to be able to benefit from this appeal?
Well, we work with a number of partners. So we work with the Cambridge City Council, we work with the Cambridge Ethnic Community Forum, we're part of the Cambridge Food Poverty Alliance. So we work with those partners that allows us to identify those people that are in need, and also people that have no recourse to public funds. So we're part of a larger partnership where we can access those individuals or families that will ultimately be the beneficiaries to provide the food that they need. And as I mentioned, we use a variety of local stores in order to be able to deliver them to the families. We also provide things like food vouchers, electricity and gas utility top top-ups. We can do that via SMS or email or local post offices. That's when it becomes hard for people to pay their bills. So, and also we provide a variety of food, things like rice, lentils, chickpeas, especially during the month of Ramadan. But as I mentioned, we're supporting everybody. So we're part of the sort of the greater network around the city, and we've become sort of one of the key sort of stakeholders and providers of culturally relevant food. And we are the only charity that actually does that. So we expect to support everybody in a timely fashion as well, because I think that's important.
Yeah.
When people do come to us, they're already desperate. They already needed help yesterday. So what we try to do is, from the point of contact to actually delivery of food, we can probably do that within a day, if not a day and a half.
Okay. Now, how many times have you run a Ramadan appeal like this? I guess that's the question, or the answer to when you founded the Karim Foundation. How many years have you been going now?
Well, we registered with the Charity Commission in September 2020, so this is our second Ramadan appeal. So we started off, as you know, Amir, as a crowdfunder, and we registered during the pandemic. And obviously, charities don't really want to exist if you look at it from a philosophical perspective, because there's a problem. And we knew that anecdotally there'd been a problem with sort of culturally diverse food for a number of years, and that's the reason why the Karim Foundation was born. So this is our second Ramadan appeal, and we're hoping that people will be able to donate generously. If they can go to the karimfoundation.co.uk website, and you can also donate or even provide voluntary support or aid, or at least showcase what we're doing, and we'll be absolutely grateful if your listeners could do that. Yeah,
and I think that's important to reiterate. So the website is the Karim Foundation, Karim Foundation. Did you say .co.uk?
Yes, .co.uk, and then the landing page will just take you to the Ramadan appeal that we're focusing on during this month of Ramadan.
And you said that it's not just financial support you're looking for; it's it's time as well, isn't it? Volunteer support.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's always essential for us. We're going to be expanding. We're going to have a wider reach as well. So we'd like volunteer support, but also we'd like people to showcase what we're doing as well on social media. We're on all of the social media platforms. If people can retweet or leave comments, then that's also wonderful, because that really helps with our exposure and our engagement with people online.
Kal, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning and telling us all about this new appeal of yours. That's Kal Karim from the Karim Foundation in Cambridge, doing amazing work to support our most needy in Cambridge during this cost of living crisis.